Welcome back, kids. Got a beautiful sign for you today. This thing turned out great. This is a logo sign for the Jäger Call Company, Duck Call Company in Stuttgart, Arkansas, my hometown. And the business is owned by 17-year-old Jonah Carter, who is quite an accomplished duck caller. He's won the 2021 Intermediate World Championship and has placed in a lot of other competitive calling events. So he's got a bright future. And just so happens he's related to me too. His how does that work? His grandpa is my cousin. So you figure it out. I don't know what that means. I just know that we can't get married. Yeah, but it is Arkansas, so there may be, who knows. Anyway, uh, it's turned out fine. A good video, I think. You'll enjoy this one. A lot of good tips, and always there's one little minor mishap in there, but hey, it was no problem. Didn't mess anything up. It was kind of fun to figure out what happened. So, without further ado, let's get to it and see how I made this thing. All right, we're in VCarve Pro. Only 3 tool paths, and according to VCarve Pro, it should take 30 minutes to carve this and cut it out. So I'll quickly review the tool paths. The duct and all the background stuff there is going to be done. Basically, everything is going to be done with 60-degree groovy jitting. And then, let's see, I'm going 0.06 depth. I'm going to use a 1/8" downtown Jenny as a clearing bit, to get this in here. This will eventually be black. It's not a whole lot of that, but it's enough to justify using the end mill to clear it out. So we've got VCarve 1, clear 1, and then just a regular VCarve 1. The difference is the clear 1 is the end mill. That's, as you can see there, that's a 1/8" downtown Jenny. Open that up, which is here. That's our clearing tool. That's just going to get out the bulk of what is going to be basically a pocket cut. And then when it gets everything it can get, then it'll come back and it'll be time for the 60-degree groovy Jenny to come in there and do most of the work there. When that's finished, the only thing left to do will be to cut it out, and that's this tool path. I need to adjust this right quick too, because I just measured that slab that I'm cutting this out of, and it's 0.855 thick, so I'm going to go 0.865. I always go 0.01 deeper than the actual thickness of the board. So yeah, all that looks good. So let me know it's going to cut through at 0.91, which I'm fixing to change that. So I would just say it's 0.86, 865 there. Another way I could have did that, well, let's go back over here. Well, let's just go right here. I could go Z equals, and it'll automatically populate that with the thickness that we set in the board over here at 0.865. So there's a couple ways to do that. We're good. All right, so anyway, we're going to cut all the way through it. I'm going to use an 1/8" compression Jenny, and the reason I'm not using like a 1/4" like I normally would to cut something out like this, because I want to maintain the details here. This is basically a 12" circle, not circle. So these little gaps in here are not going to be very big, and I want to be able to get in there as deep as I can. And a 1/4" bit would get about right here, stop, and then it just come around like this. Whereas that 1/8" will get further on down in here, give it a little bit more detail. Same thing with the wingtips up here. It'll get further in there between those feathers. So let's run a quick preview of that. We'll see what it's going to look like. Reset it, preview all toolpaths, and there we go. Take the color off of it so we can better see the actual carving. So yeah, it's going to be pretty. I'm not seeing any major problem areas. So, and I'm going to show you a couple of modifications that I made to the file in the process here. This duck has a band on this left leg there. And that band was originally a lot smaller than that. So I basically made it taller. I just stretched it taller, hoping that maybe it'll be more prominent on the when the sign is cut out. Same thing up here. I had to do some work on the head. I enlarged the eyes. I enlarged this just a hair, and then this outer part here, I made it bigger. And what I'm trying to prevent is this: if I leave this area here, this will be a raised area. This kind of an oval shape will be raised. Well, I don't want that to break during the carving process, or when I'm sanding it, which that happens sometimes too. So let's look at it back in a 3D. So you see what I'm saying here? I want to maintain that raised area around that. And the way the file originally was, this was going to be way too thin, especially right there. It still may be a little thin. I'm just going to try to be careful with it. And another thing I had to do, this was all one vector before. This and this. These were connected. I disconnected those so I could have a little bit more freedom to move these around and resize them separate from all the rest of this. And you can see that's the whole breast area and the stomach area of the duck. So I didn't want to mess with that. So I just separated it there. All right. Well, anyway, I think we are just about ready to cut this thing. Look at it one more time. Make sure there's nothing that stands out. There's the little duck band on that leg right there. Yeah, the first time I did the preview, before I enlarged that, it did not look like a duck band. It was just a little white spot. It looked like it had just missed a spot. But now, for people that know anything about duck hunting, they know that's a duck band. So anyway, let's send this over to the Masso. Let me save it right quick. Of course, I save all visible toolpaths in one file because I have the tool setter. There are my tools. Only thing that just cutting them in order. It's going to clear with the end mill, then the V bit, and then it's going to come back with another end mill and cut the whole thing out. So let's save it. I'm just calling it what it is. Save. Go ahead and save it up here too. All right, let's get in that Masso. I got a new YouTube comment. I always like getting those. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe. I sure appreciate that. It helps me so much. All right, let me get in here and find this folder right quick. This is old Jonah Carter. This is right here. Let's see, make sure. I always check the date and the time and make sure I'm working with the right file. So yeah, 12/10/23, 12:05, and look down here. Now it's 12:06. So I know that's the right one. Drag it over here, then we're going to drag and drop. See it right there. The name of the file. We're going to send it. and it's running for whatever reason. It's sending kind of slow today, but that's okay. It's going to get over there. Let's go look at it on the Massa. All right, first things first, let's go to our F3, go into probing, and I'm going to set my G55 right off the bat. See, it changed it right up there to G55. Now I can exit that. Let's load that file, go to F9, and that is called Jäger Call Company logo. Load that up. I'm really not sure how to pronounce that. I need to ask him. And here he is right here. So that's all well and good. So now I need to change tools and then set my Z height on the board. So let's move over to the machine and do that. All right, we know our first tool is going to be the 1/8 inch downtown Genie. Tools out here. Still got the hog on here from the previous sign. We won't be using that today, so I'll go ahead and put him up. Make sure we start with fresh, clean collet in there. Knock out all the bad stuff. All right, now let me get my pendant over here. All right, I've got my Masso pendant up here. Just run this out here, somewhere about the middle of the board, and we're going to set our Z there. Just going to use the paper method. Right there, touch right there. So let me go in the Masso, zero out that Z. I'm going to raise that up, and we're good. I don't have to do my XY because I have that G55 offset. So, first thing I always do is go to work origin, which would be my G55, which is that front corner. You can see right there. Rewind. Cycle start. I'm just going to go over here and measure the bit. Actually, it's prompting me to load that bit. So I've already did that, of course. So cycle start. Now to measure the bit and go to work. All right, time for the 60-degree groovy Jenny. The guy I'm making this for is named Jonah Carter. He's in Stuttgart, lives in Stuttgart, or my hometown, rice and duck capital of the world. Got his own duck call making business, and this is the logo for his business. So if any of y'all duck hunt to that, I'll have a link to his social media in the description. All right, let's get back to work. So here I'm going back and V-carving out the wings and those top area around the duck call up there. It just wasn't deep enough that first go around, and I didn't adjust the depth of my cut. I just, up here at the top, you can kind of see that paper sticking out from the top there. I shimmed up that top side of the board. The bottom half of the board was fine, but that top half was a little thinner than the bottom half, so it didn't cut quite as deep on the top half. So I just reran that top part and it come out just fine. All right, y'all watch this next part. This is going to be the profile cut, cut it out. Got my 1/4-inch tabs on there. And it immediately comes over here and just dives in like a skeeter doing a hit and run. So I'm like, what in the world? So I went back into my VCarve Pro and looked at the vector, and as you can see here, it's clear as a bell. There's no reason, or I didn't think there was any reason for a hole to be there. So then I thought about superimposing the 3D rendering over the top of that, and boom, there's the answer. It was just trying to do the cutout, but it couldn't get all the way up in there in the crick of that G. So it just, that's as far in there as it could go, and it just drilled in, and it couldn't come out any because it was too narrow right there. So, wow. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. But it was no big deal. No harm, no foul. I just thought it was interesting that it did that, and scared the hell out of me. Man, that's pretty. Whew. Love that. All right, I got it cleaned up, ready for paint. Don't look so good.
5 hours later. The next day, the next day,
All right, now it's ready for the laser. All right, that's it for this video. I want to thank Jonah Carter for allowing me to make this sign for him. I'm so happy to do that, and I like to encourage young folks, especially ones that are entrepreneurial minded like he is. Uh, Help them out. If you got people or young people in your circle of influence, set a good example for them, and help them along their way. Just try to remember how it was when you were their age. It is hard to get started, and a little help's always a good thing. So anyway, if y'all are any of you are duck hunters, be sure and check out his social media links. I'll have them below. He makes some great duck calls, and he just his business is really growing, and he's already making a name for himself out there. So that's a wonderful thing, and I'm super proud of him. And now, on a personal note, by the time you see this video, I should be at or above 1,000 subscribers. That's a big deal for a YouTube content creator, because that's the point where you can become monetized, and that's pretty awesome to think about. So I have no idea, where this is going to go. I'm just excited to be on this journey, and I'm excited to have y'all with me. I appreciate y'all sticking with me through all this, the good and the bad, and continuing to follow me. And thank you. And be sure, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And if you are already a subscriber, share with your friends and that may be interested in what I'm doing. That helped too. So thank y'all so much. Oh, one more thing. I do have memberships and supers available. I also have buy me a coffee available. So that's down there in the description too, just in case you're interested. Thank y'all so much. I'll see you on the next video.